is from the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verses 13 through 15. Then little children were being brought to Jesus in order that he might lay his hands on them and pray. The disciples spoke sternly to those who brought them. But Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not stop them, for it is to such as these that the kingdom of heaven belongs." And he laid his hands on them and went on his way.
Our second reading is part of our lectionary text for today. It is Mark 9, verses 38 through 40. The disciple John said to Jesus, "Teacher, we saw someone casting out demons in your name, and we tried to stop him because he was not following us." But Jesus said, "Do not stop him, for no one who does a deed of power in my name will be able soon afterwards to speak evil of me. Whoever is not against us is for us. For truly I tell you," Jesus said, "whoever gives you a cup of water to drink because you bear the name of Christ will by no means lose the reward." So ends our readings for this day. As I was preparing this sermon, I was reminded of a chapter Anne Lamott wrote in her book a number of years ago, Traveling Mercies, Some Thoughts on Faith. In this chapter, Anne writes about being a single mother who makes her son Sam go to church. I'd like to share a portion of that with you this morning. Sam is the only kid he knows who goes to church, who is made to go to church 2 or 3 times a month. He rarely wants to. This is not exactly true. The truth is he never wants to. What young boy would rather be in church on the weekends than hanging out with friends? It does not help him to be reminded that once he's there, he enjoys himself, that he gets to spend the time drawing in the little room outside the sanctuary, that he only actually has to sit and still and listen during the children's moment. It does not help that I always pack snacks, some Legos, his art supplies, and bring along any friend of his whom we can lure into our churchy web. It does not help that he genuinely cares for the people there. All that matters to him is that he is alone among his colleagues and is forced to spend Sunday mornings at church. You might think, noting the bitterness, the resignation, that he was being made to sit through a 6-hour Latin mass. Or you might wonder why I make this strapping, exuberant boy come with me most weeks. And if you were to ask, this is what I would say: I make him because I can. I outweigh him by nearly 75 pounds. But, she goes on to say, that is only part of it. The main reason is that I want to give him what I have found in the world, which is to say, a path and a little light to see by. Most people I know who have what I want, which is to say purpose, heart, balance, gratitude, joy, are people with a deep sense of spirituality. They are people in community who pray or practice their faith. They are Buddhist, Jews, Christians, people banding together to work on themselves and for human rights. They follow a brighter light than the glimmer of their own candle. They are a part of something beautiful. I share these poignant words of Anne Lamott today because they speak so beautifully to all of the events of this morning. These words speak to Dana and James DeRozier, who made the decision to become a part of this church family and who wish to share a faith-based community with their child. In the same way that Sam Lamott was surrounded by the loving care of a church, their child will be surrounded by the love, the support, and the care of all of us. These words speak to the children in our midst who, like Sam, may not always want to be attending worship, but who are blessed by being a part of this community. We are so grateful that you are here with us, and we will continue to do our best to support you on the journey. These words speak to the 12 individuals who became official members today. In having conversations with all of you, it is clear to me that, like Anne Lamott, you wish to be in a community with people who have a deep sense of spirituality and who are banding together to work on themselves and to work for human rights. A group of people following a brighter light than the glimmer of one person's candle, helping to create something beautiful. On behalf of everyone in this church, we are so glad that your path has led you to this community, and we look forward to continuing the journey with you. We are open to your ideas and your gifts as we offer you our support and our encouragement. Anne Lamott's words speak to those who have been a part of this church for many years. She writes about the loving way in which the people of the church welcomed her and her young child. At some point, each one of us was welcomed into this church. And then we became the ones to extend welcome to others. How different all of that is than the actions and the words of the disciples in this morning's readings. You'll recall that in one case, they tried to exclude Jesus from blessing children. In the second story, they wanted to exclude an individual who wasn't a part of their in-group. Even though that person was doing good. In both cases, Jesus corrects the disciples by saying that all are welcome to participate in the life-giving work of God, and all are welcome to receive the blessings of God. No exceptions. A number of years ago, the national offices of the United Church of Christ shared with us a slogan that states, no matter who you are or where you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. We in the United Church of Christ Midland, Michigan, take this slogan very, very seriously. We strive to be inclusive, knowing that there's still more for us to learn. All are welcome, no matter one's sexual orientation or ability. All are welcome, no matter what your political or theological beliefs happen to be. All are welcome here, no matter what your family configuration or your age. Later in her chapter about making her son Sam go to church, Anne Lamott shares, when I was at the end of my rope, the people of St. Andrew tied a knot in it and helped me to hold on. The church became my home in the old meaning of home. That it's where when you show up, they have to let you in. They let me in. They even said, you come back now. And so as the pastor of this church, it is my prayer that everyone listening to this message today feels that the United Church of Christ Midland, Michigan is home for you. And that whatever challenges you are faced with or direction that your life takes you, you hear us say, you come back now. Thanks be to God for welcoming communities, for babies being baptized, and for new members being received. Amen. Eternal God, we do indeed give thanks for this day of celebration in which we have offered your blessings upon a young child and have welcomed 12 individuals into the full membership of this church. We are grateful for your gift of love and for the many ways in which it is shared with the people in this church. With compassion and generosity, care is offered to those within this fellowship, as well as out to the greater world. We rejoice in the diversity of this fellowship and the varied gifts and talents that each person possesses. We seek, O God, your continued guidance as we follow in the way of Jesus, offering care to the hurting and the vulnerable ones, standing with those who are oppressed, speaking out against hypocrisy, and proclaiming your love for all people. And so it is in a spirit of love that we now enter a time of silent prayers. O God, it is now in unity with you and with one another that we offer the prayer that Jesus once taught, saying, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Now I would offer you this benediction. Today and every day, take care of one another, knowing that each of you is God's gift to this community and to the world.